everybody? It's me again, doing another home project. This is at the second property that we have. Had to leak I had a leak in our hot water tank. So it was leaking out of this portion right here. So let me show y'all. All right, so the cold inlet right here, take that out the way. And at first I thought it was what they call a nipple that goes inside of this hole right here. But actually when I replaced it, it's not that. It was leaking in this seam that goes like right around inside of there. So I don't know if this fitting right here is I'm assuming it's welded in, but I'm wondering if it came loose because of, this is an old hot water tank, and I don't know if the seams came loose. But I went through the process of taking out the old nipples, taking off all the connections, only for it to still be leaking out of this same section, like in between there. That section in between there when the pressure rises. But this is a 2005, so I think this is the same hot water tank that me and my dad replaced back when, I'm assuming 2005, that's what, 20 years ago. So this thing lasted us 20 years in my mom and dad's old house. So now, I helped him put the old one, this one right here, I helped him get it up in the attic. He did all the connections and everything, but I just helped him get up in the attic. And it's funny because when we were able to get this house, all these things are kind of cycling back around. So now it's going to be my oldest son helping me get this thing out of the attic and then get the new one back in the attic, and then probably I'll do all the installation myself. But this is where my dad had it sitting right over here. Like it was sitting right here in this area. Me and my son moved it out the way, and we had a little pan down here in this area, the little hot water heater tray or pan. And what happened was the pan that we had in here, my dad had in here, it wasn't correctly sealed all the way, I'm assuming, and it was leaking through. So water, when the tank started leaking from that top section that I was showing you all, the water was coming up and then rolling off the side of the tank and then filling up inside the tray. When it filled up inside the tray, when we found the leak, water was probably like 3 inches high, 2 to 3 inches high in there. So the tray was holding some of the water, but then some was able to get out of the corners. The corner had, I guess, a tear or rusted out or whatever, and water was able to get through and then leaking through the pan, through the floor, and it messed up the ceiling in one of the hallways, which my dad had some ceiling tiles up there, so it won't be that hard for me to replace it because I can just take off that section of ceiling tiles. It's a small hallway, so I'll be able to replace that. But I did find one thing. The floor right here in the attic, he stained most of the floors on this walkway. This walkway here, he stained the floors in these areas, as you can see over here. But this section right here where the tray was, I'm assuming that he didn't have he had the tray already in place, or the pan already in place. So he stained around it. He glued the tray in and then he stained around it. So once I took everything up, I was able to finish staining it. And it's just another way to, I guess, seal the wood just in case any kind of water leak comes in here. It'll protect or have like a slight barrier there where the water won't be able to just go straight through and warp this wood in here. So even though water got in here, it didn't warp any of the wood right here. Like this section of the wood was already stained over here. This was already stained this same color like this. So that wood didn't get warped a little bit. This wood right here in this section right around here, this section was not stained because this is where the tray was. So the wood started buckling just a little bit. I noticed it rose up in this section right here just a little bit. So what I did is I just went ahead and had some extra stain from some other projects that I was working on. So I got some stain and went ahead, and it's not the same color, it's darker, but yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to protect it. So I finished staining it and got it set. So my next thing is I'll be going to Lowe's or Home Depot to try to see if I can find another hot water tank. This is I think this is a Ream 50-gallon tank. and it served its purpose. If it's, like I said, the manufacturer date on there is 2005, and my dad on his paperwork, it had 2005 on there as well, so I'm assuming he bought it in 2005. So this thing lasted 20 years. 20 years, hey, I'll take that investment any day. So hopefully the next one I get from Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, hopefully it lasts just as long, so that way I can put it up here. I won't have to worry about it. One thing I did notice is what they call the nipples that go in the tank in here in these sections right here. He had a different kind. He had, I guess, like the regular kind. I'm assuming they're the regular kind, but they have these other ones that are called dielectric. So it has some kind of heat thing to where, I guess I'm assuming that the heat from the tank won't mess up or let corrosion happen between the nipple and the tank and the lines. So I'm assuming the new ones that I bought are going to help out. And then, like I said, one thing that my dad did, he did this a long time ago. I probably was like a teenager or something. He redid all of the lines in the house. Like all of these lines right here are these flex, like PEX type lines. They're like some plastic. Let me try to see if I can show a little bit of it. Right. Oh, wrong camera. Right there. Hey. Oh, sorry. Right here. He made these type of lines right here. He did these like I said, I probably was a teenager, but he redid the whole house lines, and then he has the regular like fittings that go in here, and I have a shut-off valve for the cold water that goes on a tank. And the good thing about that is the connections that he has, I don't have to worry about having to sweat copper. Like on my other house, me and my dad, when was it? Last year? No, 2 years ago. 2 years, I think 2 or 3 years ago. We replaced the hot water tank at my other house. The other house, I didn't have a leak on that hot water tank. That one just stopped getting hot. The water just stopped getting hot. So we ended up replacing that one. And he had to, I don't know how to sweat copper. So my dad had to come over there and he had to sweat the copper to get the fittings on. But what he did to this house, I like it because it's kind of plug and play. I don't have to worry about having to sweat it or get somebody to come over here that knows how to do it. I can just literally just get these fittings right here and screw them in. And if these fittings ever go bad, the ones he ever heard, I can just replace them. I can just replace them. And then as long as I get the right size of the and the type of the dielectric nipples to go in the tank, it just screws on. You know, another thing that my dad did that I was like, man, this is it's like a blessing that keeps giving because it's coming over to the next generation, is he put a manifold. He built this manifold right here for the hot water system upstairs in the attic. And at that point, like I said, we have the normal shutoff valve that goes at the top of the tank. So there's a shutoff valve for the cold water inlet on top of the tank. And then on the other side of that, like I said, it comes from the hot water tank. So this is the inlet. Let me get right here. This is the inlet over here to where this is the cold water coming into the house. I mean, to the hot water tank from the main downstairs. And then hot water comes out of the tank through here and comes into this manifold. And inside of this manifold right here, this goes to, the master bathroom, the kids' bathroom, and the kitchen. So I can cut off individually which area if there's ever a problem. So if there's a problem in the kitchen, hot water, I can just shut this off right here, this one off right here for the kitchen, but the rest of the items could still stay on. So I'm glad he built that. And then he built another one for the cold water in the laundry room. So there's a section in the laundry room. Like I said, all of this stuff was not here when we first got this house back when I was nine going on 10 years old. My dad customized it as he went and made things easier to work on. So like I said, he has his hot water manifold, and then has the cold water manifold. Same thing, where it's the main water coming in from from the city or whatever, from the main lines from the street coming into the house. There's a main line, and then he has it going up to this other part of the manifold where it can go to the laundry room, the half bath, the kids' bath, all the kitchen, all the washing room, all the different areas, and I can shut off each one individually, so it makes it easy to where if I have to work on anything in that house, any particular area as far as the plumbing, I can shut off each item to isolate it, but the rest of the house can keep on functioning and people won't have to worry about anything. So hopefully like I said, tomorrow I'll be going into one of the department stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever, and buying me another hot water tank. So hopefully, like I said, we'll have this thing fixed and we can have some hot water again. I thank God that, he blessed my dad to have the ability to do these things, and he blessed my dad to be in my life to teach, me those skills. So all these things that I'm doing are things that I learned from my dad. And it would be plenty of times where he was trying to teach me and show me this stuff, and I didn't want to do it. I was like, man, I'd rather be playing video games or going out with my friends, playing basketball, going over my girlfriend's house or whatever it may be. I wanted to do all those things. And he would say, I just need your help to do this one little piece. And I would be, reluctant to help because I wanted to go do something else that I feel like, hey, I'm going to have more fun doing. But then I'm so glad that in those situations, he made me come help him for the period of time. And I'm glad he did, because when I was helping him, I was learning, even though I might have looked at it like, man, okay, I did what I need to do, now I can leave. That's stayed in my head to the point to where when it's time for me to do these same things, I remember how to do them. I'm like, I remember when he did this. I remember this is what we did. And I can recall all those things. So it's a blessing that, like I said, God blessed my dad with the skills to be able to do all these different types of things: carpentry work, plumbing, electrical, any automotive, any of these things you could think of. My dad knew how to do that. And the Lord blessed him to be able to do that. And then he taught me. And I'm able to retain that same information. And my dad was able to pass on the knowledge from God, from Holy Spirit, to his son. And I'm planning on doing the same thing, to where, like I said, I got my sons involved, and I'm going to be walking them through this process of doing this. Like I said, at the other house, we're already painting there. So I'll show my sons how to paint. Same thing my dad did with me. When we would need to paint, my mom wanted to change the color of the house. My dad was like, all right, let's paint. And he'd show us. So he like, get a roller, and I'm with him rolling, mad again, because I'm like, I don't want to do this stuff, man. I got one other stuff I want to do. And he's showing me how to paint and roll, and he was really picky too. Like, if my dad works, he was really picky on things that he wanted to do. Like, nah, you got to be perfect. And it'd be him explaining how to do something for a long time. And then he starts showing me, and then he'll like, okay, now your turn. And then as soon as I start, and I'm rolling or I'm painting or doing something, no, that's not right. And then he take over, and he do it for a long time. Again, I'm sitting there like, I'm just sitting here watching you do the work. Like, when are you going to let me do it? And then eventually he let me do it. But he, I guess, wanted to do everything with perfection. And the way I'm looking at it is, whether he knew it or not, I think he knew it. He was working for the Lord, and he was doing everything to the best of his ability. So I'm trying to take that same thing and everything that I'm doing, working on these houses, working on cars, whatever it is, working at a job, working for customers or clients or whoever. I want to try my best to do the best that I can. And I've been trying to teach my sons too, like, they'll do something halfway, and I'm like, why are you doing it? I'm like, what if there was a customer paying you to do this? I'm like, you're supposed to be giving your best for this. And I say, it ain't just really to impress the customer. You got your own business. It's because you working for the Lord. And then the same thing for when you work, if you get a job, if you try your best and do your hardest at a job, you're not doing it to impress the boss or whoever. You working unto the Lord, and then next thing you know, you'll start seeing doors open for you. And the doors may be opening from you from God through a man or woman or whatever you want to call it, to where they're saying, hey, we seeing the hard work you're doing. We're going to give you a promotion. Same thing with a business. Hey, we see you out here working, you hustling, you grinding, and you making your business better and better. Yeah, I want to shop with you. Yeah, I want to buy something or invest in your business. So I'm trying to use the same thing that my dad taught me, and I'm teaching my kids. Hey, do your best on everything you can. And like I said, check back in with us, because like I said, we'll be back at the other house. May not this weekend, maybe the weekend after that. We're going to be at the other house finishing up painting. Me and my boys, we were able to roll or paint, and we did rolling on it for, we did 2 rooms and a hallway. So we're going to go back. We got another room, a bathroom, 2 bathrooms, and a kitchen that we're going to do. And I taught them how to roll. So I'm going to probably, this time I was kind of rolling with them, rolling and while they were rolling, just to keep an eye on them to make sure that, they don't mess things up and have runs everywhere. So I think this time around, they should be fine. I think they should be fine. I just set cardboard around the carpet, around the floor, and the concrete floors in the hallway area. I'll put cardboard down. That way, if they drop anything, it'll just get there. but it'll give me an opportunity to start doing the cut-ins around the ceiling, around the door frames, the baseboards. So I'll go ahead and try to knock those out, but I'll try to video some of that or take pictures or whatever we're going to do so we can kind of post some more just to show home improvement. Because if many of you who hadn't checked in or whatever, the last video that we had, this is something, a journey that me, my wife, my kids are going on, where, like I said, the Lord was able to bless us to where we paid off our first house. So, that's a whole nother story. I'm going to share that. I'm going to be sure to share that with everyone, because the Lord was giving me downloads back when I was in my mid-20s, and I didn't know what it was for. I didn't know what it was about. I just know it was out the blue, random, because I had no knowledge of what I was doing until, like I said, back then I was like, something said, look up this. Something said, do this. And then at that point, I was able to, like I said, me and my wife put together a plan, and we were able to pay our house off way before 30 years. I think we had a 30-year mortgage, but we were able to knock it out in about 16 years. So, like I said, that's another story. I'm going to be sure to share that, because the backstory of that is my credit in my financial situation years before, right when I bought the first house we had, it was horrible. So not the next, but one of the videos I'll be doing is going to be a video sharing that story. So you'll get more details on that. But like I said, the Lord blessed us with the ability to be able to pay off the first property. And then with that, we were able to then get this second property and buy this property. Like I said, my childhood home that I grew up in from age 9. I think we moved here when I was 9. From 9 years old all the way to 25 is when I stayed there. Then I moved out and got my own place and everything. But all those years of being there, my family having a house, I was able to buy this house from my mom. So now at that point, we have 2 properties. We're staying in this one, the one that I grew up in, and we're going to be renting out the other property, which was our original house that me and Tabitha and the boys had, that we paid off. So at that point, that one becomes real estate income, passive income, whatever you want to call it. It's our investment property, to where we're going to be using that to make money, to then that money that we're getting paid off of that property is going to be paying for this property. And then what we're hoping for is to continue that same process, to where we can get a third property and a fourth property. And then hopefully the Lord is able to bless us, or not able, I know he's able to bless us. Hopefully we're, great stewards of what he's given us. Anything that he's given us, we're great stewards of what he's given us. And at that point, we're able to receive the blessings of us getting multifamily properties, whether it be duplexes, quadplexes, apartments, something to where we can have more and more properties, to where we're helping people. Like, the one thing that me and my wife both share is we want to help people. So it's going to be a blessing that once we get our first house painted and everything looking nice and neutral, we can rent it out to a great family. Like, that's the thing. I want to find a great family who might not be in the best situation, or who is in a great situation but not looking to stay anywhere long term. They're not looking to stay anywhere long term, but they want to, rent something that looks nice, well kept. Because like I said, I'm gonna have it looking, real nice and neat, because we're just going back with like neutral colors. But it's a nice. Our original house, our first house, is a nice house. So at that point, I'm just looking for a great family, or it might be an individual. We don't know. We're just trying to see, to where someone can rent it out and we could be a blessing to them. And at the same time, being a blessing to somebody else is going to open up doors for us. And God's going to automatically at that point be blessing us anyway, because the money from that house is going to be used to pay this house. And then at that point, this house will then be paid off eventually, because God has already been speaking to me of a way to pay this one off fast as well. So this one is going to get paid off fast as well. And then that's my thing. I want to try to see how many properties can we get, and then how quickly can we pay them off, and then everything will be just straight profit, all profit. But I don't know. I've been talking to other people who do the real estate, same kind of thing, and some of them share the same thing, where they say, yeah, get the properties, pay them off as fast as you can, and then after so many years, you'll have just full profit from the houses, with the exception of like your insurance, your landlord or landlord insurance, property taxes and things like that. You'll still have to pay those, but you're getting that in the sense from the month of the rent that you're gathering from your tenants. But eventually we'll have everything paid off on all of them. That's what some people say. Other people, they do stuff where they say, well, on a couple of them, maybe you want to pay those off because those are going to be ones that maybe you're going to pass to the kids as far as that they may stay in or whatever. And then others, it's not a big deal if they get paid off because they're cash flowing. So as long as someone's in there and they're paying rent and the rent that you're getting from them is more than whatever you owe on it, then you're cash flowing. It doesn't matter at that point. But me, I just kind of like the idea of having them all paid off. But I don't know. Like I said, we're new to this. We're learning as we go. Anybody out there that knows or who's doing this, already doing this, hey, share some tips. Put them in the comments. I'm looking for tips because, like I said, I'm not the type of person where I'm too proud to ask for help or too proud to take advice from other people. This is something new to me and my wife. We don't know how to do this. We're going. Or I won't say we don't know how to do this. We know about it. We've researched and done our homework. The Lord has blessed us with the ability to research, understand, grasp stuff really quickly, but it's still new to us. And there's things that instead of me having to research and my wife having to research to figure things out, some of the viewers or other people out here and people we come across, you all may have the answers that we're looking for already. So yes, definitely. If you have advice on what we need to do as far as paying off all of them and then making that a part of the plan or the process, or if it's, like I said, where it doesn't matter if it's paid off because they're cash flowing, because I think the idea that some people were saying it doesn't matter is they would get a property, fix it up, make it look good, and then refinance because it's worth more now that it's been renovated or fixed up. And then they can take the money out of that particular refi and use however much they pulled out to go to get the next property. So I like that idea too, because I'm not having to come out, me and my wife not having to come out with our own capital to get a down payment for another investment property. It'd be, no, we're not taking out our own money. We're using money from a house that we fixed up, made look better, and then using that equity to pull out of that house from the refinance or whatever, and then use it to put down on another house, another property. And then, like I said, once it gets up and running and it's cash flowing, we're all good. So like I said, if you have any tips, put them in the comments, let me know. But we'll be sure to share more information. I'll try to have a video with me and my son installing this hot water tank. Hopefully everything goes smooth and we can be back up and running with hot water. And then we'll have another video, like I said, a little while from now, to where we're going to be finishing up painting in the other house. And then we'll just take you on our journey because, like I said, this is new to us. I don't mind sharing this with other people because, hey, anything that I learn or know, I'm the type of person where I'll share it with other people because I want to see everybody succeed. I want to see everybody learn. I don't, what they call it, I don't guard information or hold knowledge away from people. If I learn something new and somebody else is interested in it, I don't mind sharing it. I don't mind teaching them. So like I said, be sure to check out Kicking It With The Calvins again, and be sure to look out. Very soon, I'm going to have that story that I'm telling you all of my past financial situation and what God has been able to do in me and my wife's life to transform it to where we can have house paid off, and then now our second property, the other house is paying for this house, and all the different things we're doing. Where we came from and where we are now, be sure to check out the video when it comes out. But there's a lot of tips in there that Holy Spirit gave me. This ain't nothing that I came up with because I had no idea about this stuff. But Holy Spirit was just dropping this stuff in my brain back when I was in my mid-20s, piece at a time. And I'm having to research and figure things out. And it brought me to this situation here to where things are going great. And even with this, the hot water tank is going out. Most people will be like, man, that's money I got to spend, man, it's time, and this is it. It don't matter to me because I'm like, hey, God got me to where even with this thing messing up, it's a blessing. But then I got a second property. So even if I do got to fix the hot water tank or fix something on it, it don't matter because it's a blessing. It's a blessing that I got 2 houses. We got 2 houses. It's a blessing we got them. So if I got to fix stuff on it, I got to fix stuff on it. And then it's a blessing that I got the information on how to fix it. I got the skills to do it because my dad taught me. So it's all gravy, and this is a learning thing for me, for my boys. I'll be teaching them, and I'm gonna just pass this thing on. So hopefully, years from now, not only will me and my wife be passing properties to our kids so that they don't have to go through figuring anything. We're going to have a process put in place for how to get properties, how to manage them, and what we need to do with them, all the different things, how to make sure your house get paid off. We're going to have all of that outlined for our kids, and I'm always talking to them. I'm always talking to them and telling them, hey, I did this wrong. Y'all don't do this. This is what you need to do. And I'm hoping they listening just like I was, where even though I didn't want to listen to my dad a lot of times, it was going into my ears and sinking in my brain. So hopefully I'll be able to do the same thing with them and pass them these houses. Me and my wife, we're going to pass the houses to them, and then we're going to pass them knowledge. I'm going to pass them all this knowledge of financial stuff, how to fix stuff. Because like I said, I'm good with my hands and I can fix whatever I put my mind to. And I'm good with finances. So I'll be able to pass that to them. And my wife, she's good at this real estate stuff. So she knows a whole bunch about it. So she's going to be able to teach them that stuff. And then technology is really her thing. So she's going to be able to teach them all that type of stuff. So we want to just, like I said, years from now, maybe when, like I said, we're older or whatever, me and my wife are old, we'll be able to look at our boys, which will be grown men then, and we'll be able to see all the fruits of what we've done, all the stuff that God's blessed us. We'll be able to pass it on to the next generation to create those generational blessings to where they're reaping the blessings that me and my wife has sown, and me and my wife is reaping blessings that our parents sowed, and then so forth. We just keep passing it on to improve the next generation. So like I said, at that point, hopefully they're doing way better than me and my wife at that age, and they're gonna have, like I said, right now we got 2 properties. We're ready for the 3rd, 4th. I'm hoping that when they start, they already have a nice lot of properties. They have a nice set where they got 10, 20, 50, how many the Lord is gonna bless us with, how many we're gonna be great stewards of. I hope they can come through the door with all those properties, so that way the next generation, my grandkids, start off even better. My great-grandkids start off even better. And me and Tabitha just be sit back, kicking it, enjoying, when we retire, and just looking at our kids doing way better than what we were doing. And that's what it's all about. So, like I said, just check in with us and see the different things that we're doing, to try to improve our family's legacy. Yeah, but like I said, check in with us on some other videos. Thank you again for tuning in with Kicking with the Calvins. Like, comment, subscribe. All the different things. But stay tuned. All right. Holla at y'all.